This is the Sony RX10 III. You know what I like best about the RX10 II? The lens. Know what they improved for the RX10 III? The lens.
The lens is killer. This Zeiss lens goes from 24 to 600 millimeters, 25 times. That's super zoom territory. Great close-ups of faraway objects. Raccoons in a tree at the other end of the yard? Got 'em. It's worth taking a minute to see what 25 times, up from 8 times in the 2, means. Here's a 24 millimeter view, now 200 millimeters, that's the 2's range, and now 600 millimeters. The field of view narrows slightly as you switch between 4K and HD. HD is tighter. Or when the various levels of stabilization are engaged, steady shot off and maximum. That can be useful when the cardinals are on my neighbor's shed. At 8 centimeters, the lens is a good size when the camera is off. Turn it on, it's relatively fast, and it extends about 4 centimeters. By the time it's zoomed in all the way, it's 9 centimeters. But it takes about 4 seconds to retract and power down. It's big. The filter diameter is 72 millimeters. It seems imposing in every way. And that's actually a number you'll need to know. Although the Model 2 had an internal ND filter, the 3 does not. If, like me, you shoot video with a 1/60th shutter, the minimum aperture of f/16 and the lowest ISO of 100 will overexpose on a sunny day. Shooting using S-Log, with its minimum ISO of 800, ND is a necessity. There's a marked aperture ring on the lens, and a switch to disable the click detents. That helps smooth the transition for changing aperture while recording. The aperture markings are slightly misleading, as the lens ramps to f4 as you zoom in. At 600 millimeters, settings below f4 revert to f4. It's focus by wire, so no focus markings on the lens. Select focus mode using the switch beside the lens. Autofocus is accurate and fast when wide, but it slows on longer focal lengths, which might be expected given the range. That said, it's confident and doesn't hunt. Shooting intros for another review, in continuous with face detect on, it did sometimes fail to identify me, either as the closest object or as a face. In video, I assigned custom key 1 as focus magnifier to help get the focus. I'd love to use DMF to get a focus assist, but it's only available in stills mode. Know what would be ideal? Touch focus. The lens focuses close enough, a small 6 centimeter horizontal area throughout its focal lengths to get a near macro close-up. The focal length is marked on the lens barrel, not the zoom ring, so it's fairly vague. Use the on-screen guide for an exact setting. Note that in video mode, the numbers disappear. Zoom action is controlled by the lever around the shutter, as well as the lens ring or an optional Sony VPR1 remote control, which connects to the USB port. However, it is zoom by wire, and it's not entirely smooth with any of them. Menu Settings page 3 adjusts the zoom speed, normal and fast. It's really video zoom speed, effective only while recording. When not recording, it takes about 3 seconds end to end, and you'll notice the focus wobble. While recording video, normal takes a leisurely 15 seconds, while fast takes about 7. Although the lens generally maintains focus from wide to full zoom, if the focused object is at or near the closest focus point, it will momentarily soften during a zoom. I also found that focus sometimes needs a manual assist when the subject is close. Of course, it's very hard to be steady at 600 millimeters, making excellent stabilization a priority for this camera. In HD, there are 4 settings. This handheld shot is off. Standard, Active, and Intelligent Active, where the camera is steadier than the feeder. As with all stabilization, you have to be fairly steady to have it work. Still slightly wobbly for video, it is a savior for stills, particularly in low light. For 4K video, only Standard is available. When shooting video, I found it best to turn power save to 30 minutes, otherwise the focal length will reset as it powers down, requiring recomposition. Low light performance is reasonable. Here's a single candle illuminating Kim, but this isn't Sony's best. The RX10 III is mirrorless, and although one of the usual advantages of mirrorless cameras is size and weight, the RX10 isn't either. It's over a kilo and no smaller than a Nikon D5500. And while it looks like a DSLR, that's a term now typically associated with cameras that have a mirror. While there may be advantages to cameras with mirrors, they're fairly insignificant compared to the overall functionality and capability found here. The 1-inch 20-megapixel sensor may be on the small side, but I continue to be impressed by the photos and video it creates. Particularly video, as it's engineered to provide full pixel readout without pixel binning. That means a sharper, clearer image. Nearly all the footage in this review is in 4K. The RX10 is packed with pro features, like an OLED viewfinder, a topside status panel, the card slot is on the side, there's an integrated flash, and a flash shoe. I feel I have to justify the electronic viewfinder. I'm personally a fan. Not only is the OLED screen clear, bright, and detailed, it provides a real preview of the image I'm about to take. It can be used while recording video, a huge plus for me, and it can optionally display the image just taken.
The auto modes enable anyone to take great pictures with little effort. But this is also a very capable manual settings camera with great features for stills and video.
In manual, adjust the aperture using the lens ring and shutter using the small black dial. A numerical meter readout at the bottom of the screen provides guidance. For video, there's Zebra, 70 to 100 plus, and 2 custom settings. I use 70 plus or minus 5 to get white skin properly exposed. There's also a histogram and a dual axis level. Video can record in HD as well as 4K, and the RX10 III supports the Pro S-Log feature. You might not think you need audio in and headphone jacks, but they add power and flexibility. The extensive capability to manage video using picture profiles, including Pro Gamma and color settings, advances the capabilities of the RX10 III to a level not found on consumer devices, although some recent Sony models now include S-Log 3 Gamma, which is not available here. The provided picture profiles are presets, with some sample settings. Don't be tempted to think that one or other setting can provide a general solution. Each is designed for a specific scene or production requirement. Sony's Help for Creators website provides more details, or you could watch my video about S-Log.
Amongst an array of features and functions, Sony offers the best panorama mode of any camera, easy and just about foolproof.
Sony's most advanced feature is a collection of downloadable apps, a growing library of free and inexpensive solutions and effects, like Sound Photo. There's lots of cool value here, and no competitor has anything like this. This camera wants for very little and delivers excellent quality images under demanding conditions. For nearly all of its feature set, I'm tempted to send you to watch my review of the RX10 II, as there are very few differences, but let me review some of the highlights.
There are not many cameras that can simultaneously and seamlessly record video and shoot stills. The RX10 III does. Just press record and then press the shutter.
Or turn on auto dual record, and it will take a photo automatically when it sees a good one. The only improvement I can think of for this feature is to make it compatible with 4K video and not just HD. The few other cameras that do this, either save lower quality images, a limited number of images, or record hiccups in the video, but there are no compromises here. And the auto mode is just brilliant. There is nothing like it. You shoot great video, while the RX10 III takes the stills for you. It's like having an assistant. Very, very cool. In playback, you can save still images from a video. Also a nice feature to have, particularly if you've been shooting video and want an image to post on Instagram. Wi-Fi, along with Sony's free app, transfers the image to your phone or tablet for posting, or a downloadable app for your camera transfers images automatically each time the camera is powered off. In continuous shooting mode with full manual and JPEGs, it bursts about 60 images in 9 seconds and then continues at about 2 per second. Takes 20 seconds to clear the buffer. There's an automatic burst mode when you select the sports scene, one of many effective settings for specific scenarios that go beyond making exposure and color adjustments. The speed continuous burst mode, I counted just under 50 images in about 3 seconds. Incidentally, the all-electronic shutter can be silenced, and at that speed the shutter's sound effect can't keep up. Turn the dial to HFR for high frame rate or slow motion capability, which records silent and in HD, not 4K. Although time limited, HFR can play at 24, 30, and 60 frames and record at 240, 480, and 960 frames, providing from 4 to 40 times slow motion. 2 seconds with quality priority, 4 with shoot time. Quality goes down as the frame rate goes up. Pixel readout is 1026 vertical at 240 in quality mode, down to 270 with time priority at 960. Recording can start or end when you press the record button, useful for getting birds in flight. Press the center button to enter standby. Press record when the shot is over, then the camera saves the file. It is interesting, but it is limited, so hopefully the next generation will provide higher quality and longer recording times. For higher quality, longer record time, and audio slow motion, let me take you back to XAVC-S mode, where full HD can be recorded at 120 frames with audio. Admittedly, it's not the dramatically slow speeds available with HFR, but combined with Final Cut's optical flow feature, it's pretty good, even as slow as 10 times. Sony does not provide many playback features, no conversion for RAW, no ability to remove red-eye, crop, or add effects. And Sony hasn't changed their menu system in a while, so I'm getting kind of used to it, but it remains overloaded and somewhat unorganized. Battery life, as it is with all Sony cameras using the FW50, is short. Keep a spare in your pocket. But the camera can optionally be powered by an external USB battery. The most advanced features all have small annoyances and exclusions. After entering HFR standby, zoom doesn't work, neither does EV adjustment. Taking stills with video doesn't work in 4K, 120 frame mode, or with intelligent active stabilization. And only standard stabilization is available in 4K and 120 frame HD. I would certainly appreciate having these restrictions resolved.
Sony's known for great sensors and great camera technology. The RX10 III is no exception. But it's the integrated Zeiss lens with its terrific macro capability and its super zoom that really elevates the RX10 III to my highest recommendation.